I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Last week's column showed how buying an expensive machine to make coffee at home instead of frequenting a coffee shop could save around $1,000 a year after purchasing the machine. Coffee is just one example, though. The same home versus store financial benefit could apply to a host of other habitual indulgences and services, from restaurant lunches to meal deliveries to even manicures. As long as those habits aren't breaking your budget, why should it matter? Here's one reason. Putting annual savings of $1,000 into an IRA invested in stocks averaging 7% a year could potentially grow a nest egg of over $94,000 in 30 years. Now, for most of us, these numbers aren't enough to break a routine, like visiting a coffee shop or going out for lunch. Why? Well, because as I discussed last week, our habits are driven by emotions and cognitive biases, not financial logic. The immediate pleasure and convenience of grabbing a cappuccino on the run or having lunch delivered to us tends to overshadow the long-term benefit of saving money. Another way of putting it is the emotional juice just isn't great enough. And in addition to that, many of us have as one of our money scripts the belief, I deserve this. We often justify indulgences with the idea that we've earned them, and this makes it harder to give up buying treats for ourselves, even when we know changing that behavior would be in our financial best interest. So with that in mind, here are a few strategies that could help shift your mindset toward the long term. Visualize the specific long-term rewards. Get those set in your mind. And instead of focusing on the immediate satisfaction of today's convenience or treat, picture the long-term benefits. Now let me give you an example. If making just one daily cappuccino at home saved $1,000 a year, which you invested in an IRA with a 7% return, chances are you could have $13,800 in 10 years, $41,000 in 20 years, and just under $95,000 in 30 years. Now, in my case, where I make 3 cappuccinos a day at home on my expensive machine, my 30-year savings could reach $330,000. Next, it's necessary to track your spending. It's really easy to lose track of how much small, regular habits can cost. Track your spending weekly or monthly for a little while. It doesn't have to be forever. And then when you see those numbers start to add up, that can really motivate you to make bigger changes. Speaking of big, start small. You don't have to give up your favorite habit cold turkey. Maybe start by brewing your own coffee or taking your lunch to work 1 or 2 days a week. Gradually increase that as you get comfortable. You're probably more likely to feel motivated to continue as the savings start to stack up. Next, think about setting aside that savings in a special account. Every time you choose the cheaper make-at-home option, transfer the amount you didn't spend into a savings account. When it reaches $100, consider opening an account that requires no minimum investment, and they're out there, like a zero total market index fund with Fidelity, and then continue to invest your savings there. And finally, reframe the upfront investment. Buying an espresso machine or spending more on groceries can feel like a lot. Think of it as an investment in your financial future. Focus on the amount you will save in the long run. Choosing to make your coffee or your lunch at home instead of hitting the cafe every day is not just about saving a few dollars. It's about setting yourself up for long-term financial success. By understanding the cognitive biases and money scripts that drive your spending habits, you can start making small, manageable changes that will lead to big financial rewards. Remember, too, that the goal is not to emulate Ebenezer Scrooge, depriving yourself of every indulgence so that you can accumulate wealth. The goal is to find a balance that allows you to enjoy life's small pleasures now, as well as giving your future self the ability to do the same. Thanks for listening.